real quick, special shout out to our newest patron, Katja. We really appreciate your support. Hopefully, Una will get your name up on the board. Hey, you never know when it's going to be your last day, so you got to tell people what they mean to you. And on that somber note, welcome to the October TBR. I'm Crypto.
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm Una. Welcome. Let's talk about books that we're reading in October, and then let's go back and then talk about what we read in September. I'm a rule breaker. I'm switching it around. Do you know why? Because I want to talk about Anna Karenina, the book that we're reading in October and November as a part of the Literary Discourse Read Along. If you have been wanting to read Anna Karenina.
So I have a fun story to tell you
time.
in a second. Go ahead.
Okay, you're cutting me off. What's going on over here, Turbo?
I'm sorry. I have a not so fun story.
Oh, well, why are you going to interrupt my funness with unfunness?
Because I was really excited to read this book. And my wife and I are watching a show one night called Fantasy Island. And one of the characters in there is reading this book, Anna Karenina. And
it's pretty famous.
Yeah. And I know that it's not recent, and that's okay. But they totally spoil the ending. And they're like, no, blah, blah, blah happens. And I was like, whoa. No. I was like, I'm supposed to read that book in like 4 weeks. I'm like, WTF? No. They're joking, right? And then like that happens at the beginning of the episode of Fantasy Island. And then at the end, the lady's reading the book and she closes and she goes, oh, blah, 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 it did happen. And I'm like, no! I was so pissed that it's spoiled for me.
So lesson learned, viewers out there, don't watch Fantasy Island, okay?
Yeah, it's like episode 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in there. It's the most recent episode where she hurts her ankle and reads Anna Karenina on the weekend, and it spoils the book. So all right, guys, I know it's about the journey and not about the ending, but I'm still bitter. Go on. What manga are you reading?
So we will leave a link down below for you to join the Discord. We're reading it along with Leslie at the Nerdy Narrative, Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky and Spas. And we're going to have some special guests. We got Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse, along with Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads. So what are you laughing at now? Are you unfunning my fun?
You're fun. You're fun. I love you.
Okay. Hey.
Okay,
the other
bring
book,
it back.
the other book that we got going on, okay, is Aquaviva by Clarice Lispector.
All right, respect her.
Respector.
You have me nervous about that one because you're just like, it's a book with words. And I'm like, oh, tell more. And you're like, oh, that's it. I'm like,
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Painting with words, it's going to be a different experience. Just got to let it happen. Part of I know it's National Hispanic Heritage Month, but there's also Latinx readathon going on right now, and that's kind of what we're celebrating this year, is a lot of literature from Latin America. And it's been fantastic that it's probably just going to be a mainstay on this channel. We're just going to constantly be reading it because you guys need to hear about these stories because they're amazing. Now, real quick, I'm going to be doing Uzumaki, one of the most terrifying mangas that was ever written for October. Why not? Let's get spooky with it. I don't know if are you going to read it with us? What are your thoughts?
Why is it terrifying? Please clarify. I need more information before I commit.
So, okay. Do you know those people that when they see like holes, like indentations, and it just gives them there's just a name for this phobia too, that it just freaks them out. Like they can't see porous things like Swiss cheese or stuff like that. Like it just
like
literally
a sponge?
makes their skin. Yeah, it makes their skin crawl when they see those sorts of things. This is able to pull off that feeling just based on the art, is what I'd say. And it's not that fear, but I'm saying it gives you that feeling, like that creepy, uneasy sense when you read it.
Okay. How would I read said manga?
All right, we'll figure out later if he's gonna read this.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do this live in front of hundreds of people here, man. Come on.
Okay.
All right,
then
short stories. We got a lot of fun ones kind of planned for October. Every October we do at least one Edgar Allan Poe. This year we're doing The Purloined Letter.
I don't think I've read that one. Can you give me a taste?
No.
Have you read it?
No, we got stories to talk about. We got to wrap this up.
Okay.
We got Hellscreen by Ryunosuke Akutagawa. We'll have special guest Noah with us. We're going to do Midnight Mass by Machado de Assis. The Decapitated Chicken by Quiroga. A part of that fun as well. Well, now, you and I have read The Possibility of Evil by Shirley Jackson, so we'll be pushing out our talk on that. We've got The Diary of a Madman by Nikolai Gogol. Return to the Gogolnator, right? It's been so long.
The nose, the overcoat, the diary.
Now, I wonder if you're going to be excited about this name, Edogawa Rampo. The guy that did The Human Chair.
Oh, no, I mean, that guy. Yes!
We're going to do some story of his called The Caterpillar.
Oh,
No
that's
idea.
scary already.
Know nothing about it, but I kind of get that feeling.
I'm broke. I just broke out in a sweat. I just broke out in a flop sweat.
And of course, we're going to have our October Patreon selection of the month, whatever our patrons decide for us to read, because our patrons get to choose one story a month for us to read. That's what we're going to read. So that's going to be our October TBR, which is super awesome, and I couldn't wait to talk about it. Let's talk about what we read in September and talk about some ratings and whether we'd recommend them.
September.
Did we ever do our intro? Like, did I say, hi, my name's Una, or did we just start talking? I don't even know.
We just started talking because I was very somber, but we're better now.
Yeah. Hey guys. I've been Una this whole time. I'm not suddenly Una. I've been Una.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
I'm has been Una.
That's good. Has been Una. That's good.
All right, guys. We're gonna go through our rating system, which starts off at the top as collected. Meaning that this is something, go out, spend some money, first edition, signed copies, because this is something you're going to want to show off in your library. Second highest is the buy it, meaning we think you should go out and do the paperback, the hardback. If you have the disposable income, this is something that you would want to spend on because it's something that you probably will read and maybe reread again in the future. Middle of the road's backlog it. Check it out from the library, maybe even pick it up at a friend's from the library sale, that sort of thing. You don't want to go out of your way, but if you see it, you should pick it up and maybe check it out one day. Yeah. Now, second from the bottom is the skip it. We think this is something that most people would want to skip, but there's a book out there for everyone. It's just this may be for less people than some other books. And the bottom of the line is trash it. We very rarely give this out, and we think there are actual issues with this book, but that doesn't mean you can't still love it yourself. Just do your research before you fall in love.
Watch our video.
Yeah. All right, guys. For novels, well, we talked about. I finished Jurassic Park. You have not finished it. Is that correct?
Whoa. You always get on to me because we start off with pick of the month, and then I have one ready, and you don't do it first.
All right, go do your pick of the month, Turbo.
You don't want to do it, obviously. First you do the TBR, then you do the wrap-up.
Okay.
Who are you?
Look. My rating system is bolded. My pick of the month is not. I'm more excited to look at the bold things because those are probably more important. I skipped over the pick, okay?
You bolded it, though.
Can you give me your pick of the month? Are you done complaining and being unfun? Do give me your pick of the month.
Do you have to ask? Kafka on the Shore. Easy.
That's your pick of the month? That's your pick of the month?
Yes.
Now, of all of the stories you read, that's your pick. Number one.
Yeah, Number one. I think people need to read that. Need to experience it.
I'm joking because it actually is really good, but mine is not Kafka. While I will not try to change your mind, of course, but I will blow my mind with this one, which is The Library of Babel by Jorge Luis Borges. That story right there, like that hit the buttons for me. Like Kafka was very philosophical, and I like that too, but Library of Babel is just like grabbing the philosophy horns and it's just like, yeehaw, let's hit this. Like, I was all on board for that one.
I think you can make an argument that there's a lot of similarities between those two, philosophically speaking.
True. They're definitely kind of a thought experiment, but Kafka clearly had plot. And that was kind of cool that we didn't have to do that plot crap with the Borges story. We just got rid of that junk.
You had one sentence. They're in a library.
Yeah, they're in a library.
That's a great choice. I love that too. That probably would be my second.
Maybe that will be my plot summary for the Aquaviva too when we get to it. We'll see. I love these stories with no plot. I don't know what it is.
There's Aquaviva. It's by Lispector. All right, moving to analysis.
There's a book with words. It's by Clarice Lispector. End plot.
I love it.
All right. Can we do in the novel stuff now?
Let's go.
Our pick of the month, if you will. Okay.
Move it.
All right, Jurassic Park. Correct me. You have not finished, correct?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through Jurassic Park. Dun, 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 dun.
That's a read-along that we are following apart on Danny at Spinelli Speaks channel, along with Victoria, Christy Lewis, Ryan, Laura. Like, I'll leave links to all their channels down below. It's a really fun read-along. The discussion's happening on the Rajathon Discord, so join that if you would like to check out some of our thoughts and such.
Now, all disclosure, I'm reading Aquaviva and I'm listening to Jurassic Park. And you must know that came out, I think maybe before the movie, where they didn't get the rights to the music. The music's not in the audio version that I downloaded on Audible. So just full disclosure, when you pop that baby on, you hit play, and you're expecting the dun 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 dun. It does not happen. So
yeah.
You can experience your disappointment right here with me. This is my disappointed face.
All right, so we'll talk about that in the wrap-up next month. Are we going to do a video on that? Maybe we'll do a video on that. We'll see. Let us know if we should do a video in the comments down below. Let's talk about Kafka on the Shore and Sanctuary. We actually read Sanctuary a while ago, but we didn't get the video out till late, so we couldn't talk about it in the last wrap-up. What do you want to say about these two?
All right, so Kafka on the Shore, my pick of the month. I'm going to give that a collect it. I love this story that it is this duality of two different characters experiencing life. I felt for it. It hit me in the feels. And Kafka was a very unique character as he goes through, as a young 15-year-old boy, experiencing sexuality and fate. So that one I think is collected. Sanctuary it's filler almost, it feels like, of this story in the county that I cannot pronounce the name of Faulkner and Yakapanafna or whatever. I don't know. I hate myself. I'm going to give this one a skip it. I just feel like it doesn't add anything to the Faulkner universe of... I don't know. How would you describe it?
Sanctuary is a story of a young girl who is afraid to make choices. And she's put into very compromising situations, abducted, abused, taken advantage of by men. And you see a young lawyer who goes on this journey of what does it mean to save her? What does the law mean and redemption mean to these people? So I think this is definitely a more graphic story. It's not easy to recommend to someone like, hey, you should start with this. No. Whoever said that, get down. You need to go read more Faulkner. Like, right? I get it. It says crime noir. If crime noir is your jam, cool. But for me, I would agree. It's definitely a skip it. I don't even think you have to read it in terms of all of the over that Faulkner offers, that there's definitely other ones out there that I think convey a lot more powerful messages in his writing. Going back to the Kafka one, because I didn't rate that, I'm going to give that one I'm going to give it a buy it. I think there's some warnings on that one, but I do kind of like what you're talking about of it's this duality between two characters constantly flipping back and forth between them as they kind of explore themselves, and maybe are they mirrors of each other? Are they connected? This is definitely one of those stories where it's written very Stephen King, like, I want to say, where like the writing is just very easy. Sometimes he's just writing about things that he likes, and sometimes the things that he likes, well, that can be a trigger warning for you. So I think you need to do some research on that one. We'll have a spoiler-free chat out there. Go check that out where we talk about that in more detail. But I think it's a collect it just because those warnings will definitely hit some people, and I don't want you to go into it unprepared.
So you would have had to collect it because of the triggers of some of the very mature things. If you're 15-year-old, and you heard the story of, there's a guy that talks to cats in the story, and you think that's going to be fun fantasy world, there's a lot more to it than that. You need to check with parents and stuff, so that's why you knocked it down a notch, right?
Yeah, and we didn't even mention the big S words, surrealism, right? It's definitely out there. It's magical realism, where things are just kind of left to be explored into your mind. And I think those are the type of stories that we really love. It resonates with us, but I know for some people, they're like, I don't like that. Like, I want it explained to me. Like, that's okay. This isn't the book for you if that's the case.
Yeah, if you need a definitive ending and this is what something means, then maybe it isn't for you. So I don't know. You're almost feeling like it's my pick of the month, but I give it a buy it instead of a collect it, which would be a first ever, because you make some really good points. I mean, because all that stuff is true. If somebody, I say collect it and you should definitely read this, and you get to the end and you're like, I got to know what this means or understands, because you love when fantasy worlds are explained in exquisite detail. We have a buddy like that wants every little nook and cranny explained and explored. That can be frustrating for a reader. So I understand that. I sympathize with you.
Yeah. All right. Now for short stories, we had quite the bucket, right?
Oh,
doing the Latinx readathon. We had Clara by Roberto Bolaño. We had The Library of Babel by Jorge Luis Borges.
Collected.
And so we had some really good stories there, because those... You're just going to go along as I'm doing this. Goodness.
I'm just throwing them out, man. I'm just throwing them all willy-nilly.
We did The Comet by W.B. Du Bois. We had The Drone King by Kurt Vonnegut Jr.
Trash it. No, I didn't read that one.
Oh, okay. That's right. I forgot. All right.
You did that with Leslie.
We had All the King's Horses by Kurt Vonnegut.
Backlog it.
And we had... What? Okay. All right, and we had I Stand Here Ironing by Tilly Olsen.
Buy it. Nah, backlog it. A lot of backlog it's.
So
I'm going to say it, right? There's better stories out there.
So for Clara, almost immediately there were some comments, right? And whenever you have those comments that happen real quick, I think we have a hot button, right? I think literature is triggering us, or there's this topic that's triggering us, and it makes us want to interact. And that's what I just love about some of these short stories, is how it can help us get to what are the things that matter to us, right? And I think that's what Clara's doing and is doing its job, because the male gaze, when we're just mentioning that term, is something that's like, I got to go comment on that right now. And I just love that concept that someone could want to feel so connected and want to have their voice be heard or their comments thought about when it comes to subjects like that. That's amazing to me.
I always think if this gets you upset, it's done its job. If it makes you happy, it's done its job.
You gotta
if you feel it. If literature makes you laugh, if it makes you cry, if it makes you have a conversation, if it makes you argue, then it's done its job. If we're having a conversation about it, I mean, yes, it can be, quote, bad, or you maybe not enjoy it as much, but I always try to rank things a little bit higher if I've had a conversation about it, or if somebody took the time out of their day. Time, very precious commodity. We've talked about that through many stories. They've taken their precious time out of the day to comment on our YouTube video, then obviously I think that story did something right?
Yeah. Now here's another story that is it's made its way about time, and that's The Comet by W.B. Du Bois. We didn't talk about this one yet. That's the one where, okay, racism. What's it going to take to just get rid of it, right? And we have this comet that comes in from, outer space, and it, not giving anything away from the story, but it gets rid of racism. What does the world look like? How do we rebuild it? How do we connect across the color line if we just got rid of the structural elements that bring about racism? And what a great way to kind of explore that concept. Like Du Bois does it again with this story, I'd say.
Yeah, and I was throwing out rankings all willy-nilly there just a few seconds ago, and honestly, I would give this a buy it. I love the teachable moments. I love the class discussion that you could have. I love our discussion that you could have, and again, no spoilers, that racism is a cultural concept of defining one by our pigments, but it is so integral to all of world history, and it's something that Du Bois was still trying to combat. We're still trying to combat. And here is a story that is still relevant in 2021 and still something can help us move past, our petty squabbles as people and be better people. Oof, that's money right there.
And then we didn't really talk about All the King's Horses, but for those of you that didn't check out that talk of ours, it's kind of funny because Harry Potter totally ripped this story off, just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that story. And again, I'd probably give it a backlog it, buy it-ish, somewhere in there. You might be, required to read this in school or something because of all the historical references that Vonnegut uses in that story. And it's fun. It's a fun little piece of something that can be so simple, but so impactful of how world history played out on a grand stage.
All right, guys, we are opening up the Discord. We're putting a link down below where you can chat with us if you want. We've kind of had it as a loose launch soft when it came to this. We've had some patrons that have joined. We're opening it up for the public and are still kind of getting our feet into it. If you've got questions or want to make fun of us because of our opinions on books and the stories, join the Discord and you can follow along for things and see what the patron reads of the month are, along with some of our thoughts, and interact with us if you have any things that you want to reach out to us on. So guys, link to that is down below. With that said, we appreciate everyone who has spent time watching this video, even if it's just for a minute, even if you just wanted to feel like, you wanted to get your opinion across of one thing and then bounce, hey, we appreciate you guys spending time with us. Hit that subscribe button if you want to spend any more time with us, guys. Una out.
And we will catch you next week for the Anna Karenina kickoff on Christy Lewis's channel Dostoevsky in Space. Peace.